Hello friends, welcome back to my channel The Geography Tricks. Thank you so much for loving my channel, for subscribing my channel and for giving very good comments on the videos. And I expect the same kind of cooperation, same kind of valuable comments for the videos I am going to update in the future. So I have decided that in my today's video I will tell you about the Great Lakes. There are 5 Great Lakes in USA and Canada. So I have decided that I will be telling about those 5 Great Lakes. But before I go and speak about the 5 Great Lakes, I would like to tell you what is the meaning of lakes. Let us understand. So lakes are the water bodies which are surrounded by a piece of land. Means in all the 4 sides there are land and in between there is a water body. So the water bodies which are surrounded by land in all the 4 sides are called as the lakes. So here comes a question, how the lakes are formed? Yes, to this I have answered. The lakes are formed, there are different kind of forces, particularly due to the deflating force of wind, the hollows are created, and later on due to evaporation and different type of atmospheric factors, the gap is filled up by water and it takes millions of years for the formation. So there are different type of lakes also on this basis, like there are saltwater lake, there are freshwater lake. So their type of formation is also different because saltwater lakes are usually formed in the deserts where due to the deflating action of the wind, whereas the freshwater lakes are mostly formed like in Himalayas we have a number of freshwater lakes, and they are usually formed because of the when the Himalayas were formed and the rivers, they could not get their position how to from where they can go and connect to the ocean, and where they could not find a way, they were trapped inside the lands, and that is why many freshwater lakes we have in the Himalayas. Okay, so the type of formation varies from place to place, and today's video I will speak and I will give you much better knowledge about the 5 great lakes which are present in USA and Canada. So let us go to the PPT where I will explain you about these 5 Great Lakes and also how to remember them. What is the easy trick to remember them, and with the tricks little bit more knowledge about the 5 Great Lakes. Okay, dear friends, welcome to the PPT of World Geography Tricks. So our topic of today are the 5 Great Lakes. Dear students or my friends, these 5 Great Lakes include 5 important lakes, okay, and these 5 lakes are interconnected. They are present in USA and Canada. So let us know more about them. They are one of the great natural features of the continent of the earth. Why so? Because of their large size, they are having a very important position in the earth. Although there is Lake Baikal in Russia which is having a larger volume, but when we combine the total area covered by these 5 Great Lakes, that is much more, which is 94,250 square miles, that is nearly 2,44,106 square kilometer. And this represents the largest surface of the fresh water in the world, covering an area exceeding that of the UK, the great United Kingdom, which was ruling the whole, I can say whole Asia and Africa in some 200 years back. This particular lakes, the total area is much more than the United Kingdom too. Their drainage basin is of 2,95,710 square miles, which includes the area of the lakes themselves and their connecting waterways. Here you might be thinking, what is the meaning of drainage basin? Dear viewers, drainage basin means the total area drained by a single river. Okay, if the from the starting point to the ending point of the river, and the total area which is getting benefited from that river is coming under the drainage basin of that particular river. So similarly, when I say drainage basin of the Great Lakes, that means the total area which are directly or indirectly dependent upon the lakes and its water for any of the purpose, that is total area is the drainage basin of these particular lakes. Okay. So, the lakes provide a natural border between Canada and United States. We have made the political boundaries, but these lakes, the way they are located, if now in the next image I will show you where are they located. They are located in the eastern side of USA. USA and eastern side of USA and Canada both. So, they are making a natural boundary between these two important countries, Canada and USA. So, that is why also they are important, we can say. So, it is a source of pride for both the countries that there are no fortification or warship along the boundary. They both share a very good foreign relationship between both of them, and both the countries, they utilize the water of these lakes for their marine trade, for their drinking water, for their fishing, etc. So, let us see how to remember these 5 great lakes. Then only I can speak you more about these lakes. So, here I have the mnemonic for the same. The mnemonic is home. What is the meaning of home? Home is a place where we all can stay. And here you see the home means this is the place which is a home to numerous type of feathered creatures and fishes. The water body is a place where a number of aquatic animals live, and this place is a combination of 5 important great lakes which is nearly 294,000 square kilometers. So, in this area it provides the home for a number of creatures and fishes. So, from this word HOMES, let us remember all the 5 lakes of this Great Lake region. So, you can see this is the Great Lake region, and it is present in the eastern, northeastern, I can say, in the topmost part of USA and in the southernmost part of Canada. This is USA's map I have shown. Above USA you have Canada. So, below Canada and above USA, in between them they have the Great Lakes. Okay. So, let us remember how to remember them. So, homes. H here is what these letters they stands for. So, H for Huron, O for Ontario, M for Michigan, E for Erie, and S for Superior. Okay, now these 5 lakes, they lie in separate basins, but they form a single naturally interconnected body of fresh water within the Great Lake Basin. That is why they are important. All these 5 are interconnected. That is the speciality about them. And these lakes, they drain a large watershed via many rivers, and they contain approximately that is nearly 35,000 islands. Just imagine, it is having such a big area that nearly 35,000 islands are there in the watershed of these Great Lakes. Don't this show a very great amount? Yes, it shows. So, you might be thinking, what is watershed? Dear friends, watershed is an area or a ridge. Okay, ridge means like we have a ridge in our spinal, it's a ridge. Okay, so an area or ridge of land that separate waters flowing to different rivers, basins or seas. Or ridge means something which divides it, a part which has come up. Okay, so apart from this, we have a number of inland lakes in different parts of this Great Lake Basin. So, let us see these 5 Great Lakes. You can see these are the 5 Great Lakes, and from the image also it is quite visible that they all are connected between themselves. Okay, and this particularly Lake Michigan, if you can see here, the Lake Michigan, this Lake Michigan is the only one of the Great Lakes which entirely lie within the United States. And what about all other 4? The all other 4, that is Superior, Huron, Ontario and Erie, they form a water boundary between US and Canada. So, only this Michigan, you can see this Michigan, only this Michigan belongs to purely US. All other 4 are having a boundary between Canada and USA. Lake Huron and Michigan. Now again coming to these two, Huron and Michigan. So these Huron and Michigan are sometimes called as a single lake. Why? Why they are considered as a single lake? They are called as Michigan Huron. We don't give them a different name. Usually they are called as Michigan Huron, one single lake. Why? Because they are having one hydrological body of water connected by the Straits of Mackinac. Dear, just see what is the meaning of strait here. I said Michigan and Huron, they both are connected by a strait, and that strait is called as the Strait of Mackinac. What is the meaning of strait? So note it down. Strait means a small water body which joins two bigger water bodies. The two bigger water bodies we have here is Michigan and Huron. So these two bigger water bodies are joined by a smaller water body that is called as Mackinac, and that's the strait. Similarly, we have a strait in India, not India, we have it with us, we know it, that is Park Strait, P-A-L-K Strait, Park Strait. The Park Strait, it joins Indian Ocean and Bay of Bengal, and that Park Strait area is between India and Sri Lanka. So usually it is also called as Gulf of Mannar, but mostly it is the Park Strait, which is the water body which is present between India and Sri Lanka. Similarly, here the strait which connect Michigan and Huron is the Strait of Mackinac. So let's go to the next parts. You can see a little bit more closer in this image that all these are connected. You see, starting from Ontario, how it is connected to Erie, then how it is connected to Huron, then Michigan, and the bigger one, that is the Superior. Dear viewers, here I would like to say you that this particular area, it have a number of islands too, and the largest island which is present inside these water bodies, it is the Manitoulin Island, which is there in the Lake Huron. Okay, and this is the largest inland island in any of in the world. This particular Manitoulin Island, which is present in Lake Huron, is the largest island in any inland body of water in this world. And the second largest one, yes, the second largest one is also present in this region. That is present in the, I will not say, that is the Isle Royale. The name of the island is Isle Royale. Can you guess where it is present? It is present in the biggest one, that is, yes, that is the Lake Superior. And both of these islands are large enough to contain multiple lakes in themselves itself. Imagine, the big lakes are Superior and Huron. Inside them they have the islands, and these islands are so big that they also have a number of small lakes inside them. Don't it look very interesting? We must find time in our whole lifetime to visit such places, particularly these geographical places which will give us surprises to see. Okay, so apart from this, I will say the next part, from where did they got water? These part, they become the great lakes of the world, but from where they got water? What is the source of water? Yes, the source of water level in these lakes is tied to what was left by the melting of glaciers. If you remember the starting period, I am talking about the formation of earth, the Pangaea and Panthalassa theory. During that time, when the glaciers they started melting, from whatever is left over from those glaciers, from that only these lakes were made, when the lakes took their present form. Annually, only about nearly 1% is the new water originating from the rivers, precipitation, groundwater, spring, they come to the lakes. Usually what happens, so in this area they have got mostly from the glaciers, mostly from the melting of glaciers, and now presently only nearly 1% they get from the rainfall, from the groundwater, from the rivers which are nearby. Okay. So you can see in this how important are they, and presently what is the condition with it, how the present situation, what is their condition in the present situation, let us know about it. So here I will say that there is a fluctuation in the water level of these lakes in the when we started recording from 1918, the record we have started recording the water level of these lakes, and what we have observed that there is a fluctuation in the water level since we have started recording it. The water level of Lake Michigan Huron that had remained fairly constant over the last 20th century, but the recent lake levels include a record low level in 2013, that is in Lake Superior, Erie, Michigan, and Huron also followed by it in 2020. So we can say gradually there is a decrease in the water level of these lakes, and inside lakes, inland lakes present here also are having little less amount of water level, is this decreasing, we can say. So what is the main reason that why the water level is decreasing? To this I will give 2 points. There are 2 reasons for which the water level of this area is decreasing, that is diversion and consumption. Diversion means what? Diversion means the transfer of water to other watersheds. Means the USA and Canada, they are diverging the water, they are taking out the water of these 2 different watersheds. Watersheds means they are making the channels, like small, bigger canals are there, small channels they have made through which they are taking out water from these fresh water lakes, and they are trying to utilize it in for agriculture, for drinking water they are using it. But that diversion is the reason for which the water level of the Great Lakes has come to it is decreasing. I will not say it has come to an end, it is decreasing, gradually it is decreasing because of the diversion, that is the transfer of water to other watersheds. And the next one is consumption. So what is the meaning of consumption? So the next one is consumption. More and more water they are trying to consume. For that also they are actually taking the water for power and power generation, they are taking the water for irrigation, and also for that reason gradually it is the water level is coming to it is fluctuating, it is gradually decreasing. So in the next part I will say why they are important to us and how they are important to us. The same reason is here. Its watershed supports 7% of US and 25% of Canadian agriculture. So their agriculture is dependent upon this. Nearly 7 and 25, it comes around 32% of the agriculture of North America is dependent upon these Great Lakes. Not only that, it supplies drinking water, that is 25% to Canada and 10% to US. Apart from this, it also supports the marine transport system. The transportation system, that is the trade, it controls. So that is how also it is important. And one of the biggest shipping center or shipping area of the world, because nearly 150 tons of cargo every year is transported in this particular region. Apart from these, some more important points are there for which these Great Lakes are important. What are they? They contain much of the world's fresh water. Most of the fresh water they contain here, because that is a very large area. All the 5 lakes are of fresh water. So they contain much of the world's fresh water. That is why they are very important. Next, 150 fish species are native to this region. Matlab, these 150 fish species are aborigine of this particular region, which are not found in any part of the world. Migratory birds use the lake as a way station. What is way station? They come here like break journey. They use this as a way station. Next, the microclimate is ideal for wineries. So here I will tell what is the climate of this. Dear viewers, if you know about, we have a number of climatic classification. So here I will tell in which category of Köppen's climatic classification it is falling. So this particular area, the Great Lake area, have a humid continental climate. And under Köppen's climatic classification, it is falling under the DFA in the southern areas and DFB in the northern parts. And the varying influence of air masses from other regions, that is, it includes dry, cold Arctic system. The part in the north, it is mostly affected by the Arctic system. the mild Pacific air masses from the west which is coming, and the warm wet tropical system from the south and in the Gulf of Mexico. And this lake have a moderating effect on the climate. The water bodies usually affect the climate of any place, and because of the presence of such a big water mass in this area, it moderates the climate of that region. They can also increase the precipitation total and produce a lake effect snowfall too. Apart from this, the last point I will say, they preserve the shipwrecks really well. So with this, we can find how important are the Great Lakes to the human civilization, to the total earth also. So with this, I would like to request every one of us that we should be much careful towards the protection of these water bodies which are present around us, and we should be very careful about so that their quantity and quality both should not be deteriorated. Their quantity should be maintained, so as their quality should be maintained. So with this, you can see this is the image which has been taken in a satellite. The satellite image shows the Great Lakes. When I see this, also I feel some spark in myself that how beautiful they looks, and there are some I have given some link in my bio where you can the description of this video I have given some links where you can click and you can get more idea about the Great Lakes. I tried much to whatever I know I have spoken, and much about this if you want to know you can go to the link that I have given, I have uploaded. So with this, let us take a promise that we are going to protect the water bodies that we have around us. So with this, we came to an end of the presentation of the 5 Great Lakes. I tried to explain whatever I know, and if it is helpful to you, please subscribe to my channel, please share it with your friends, kids, students, and keep giving me valuable comments how I can improve. And with this, I will also request all of you that we all should be very protective towards the preservation of the water bodies that we have around us, because the amount of fresh water which is available in our earth is very less. Along with that, the way the human population is trying to consume it, that is also deteriorating the quantity as well as the quality of water present. So with this, let us take an oath to protect all the water bodies that we have around us. Thank you.